enjoy beers. Yes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and indeed, dithda, depending on whereabouts in the world that you are. Welcome back to the channel once again with me, Disco, coming at you with another set of live beer reviews from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar, where I'm still distantly calling the Disco Arms. So here we go again. It's second time this week. Had to be done today, I felt. Because these things amuse me, and I like a random connection and a random theme, regardless of anybody else gets it or is indeed watching along. If you are watching along, do a welcome along and let me know what beer you've got in your glass on this Wednesday night, cheeky little midweek stream. Unusual for me, I know. I was a little bit less at work today, but I was still quite rushed and pushed. Still got to I'll go in tomorrow, but being that it is Bonfire night or Fireworks night, whatever it's called, I thought we'd do a stream entitled I'm calling it Smoke on the Water. The water, of course, being beer in this equation, of course, wouldn't be anything else. I thought I'd do some smoked beers, but not the usual ones. I have this sort of random side quest of trying as many different breweries you've never heard of. In fact, at least one tonight, up until getting these in, I'd never heard of either. A couple I had, some I've had before. But yeah, I thought with all the smoke that's probably in the air tonight, I'll do some smoked beers. I was going to do this outside. I had a random plan that I was going to watch some fireworks, either up the brewery or outside in the garden, but I just couldn't quite get the angle right with the camera, with the laptop, and getting the beers in. So in the end, I thought, well, come inside. As it happens, there's not actually that much fireworks around here tonight. Certainly not compared to last month when it was all popping off back end of last month. I think we heard some fireworks on the stream. It's kind of which gave me the idea for this one. But greetings, Mr. Wilson. Thanks for popping in. Probably really daft day to do it, since I imagine everybody else is doing firework-related things, because that's what normal people do. I'm not a normal, so I don't really do it. To be fair, I'm not really that bothered. See plenty of fireworks, so I can just sort of sit in my window and watch them if I want to. Like I say, not much there today. Might get a special guest wander through again today because Kitsko is in. Kitsko, can't remember what I'm calling her now, but yeah, she's decided to stay in tonight. I kind of wasn't particularly fussed on pushing her out, even though there is a little bit of noise out there afar. But she's a tough-nosed street cat. She's been there, seen it, done it all over the last 7 years. So she's not really bothered by fireworks. She doesn't seem to cower under the sofa or nothing like that. But she has decided to stay in, although she's upset because I'm sat on the sofa for a nice warm lap for her to curl up on. So she's not out because she doesn't care. She doesn't like fireworks. She just doesn't care for them, really. Just mild indifference, generally. Not much fireworks over there either. I don't know. Maybe we've had so much fireworks in the last few weeks. People haven't really bothered. I think there's a few like organised ones going on normally over there. That's what I was going to vaguely point towards, but because I couldn't get the angle in the garden. It's quite a warm night out there. Not warm, comparatively warm for November. So it would have been all right. But yeah, so we'll do this. Let's get straight on then. Into some smoky beers. I'm quite partial to a little bit of smoked beer. So let's start off with, in a traditional manner, beer number one, please. And there it is. Now, beer number one is a brewery I'd never heard of. You might not either. And a collab with a brewery I very definitely have heard of and have had beers from before. The brewery I've not heard of is called Mason Brewing down in Cornwall. Picked this up as part of the Cornish pack I picked up the other week and did some of last week. This is pretty much the reason I picked up that order, because I just saw this, I think on a random Instagram post, probably from Steamtown, who's the other collab brewery. Steamtown down in Southampton, down in Eastleigh. Got a beer called Disco Fluff. I had probably as long ago as 4 or 5 years ago now. Haven't necessarily been back to for a while. Have got one of their beers in still, a big impy stout. I think might be coming up for a best before, so I might have to do that soon as well. But yeah, like Steamtown, like what they do. Haven't, like I say, been to them for so long. So when I saw this come up, and I thought smoked pretzel stout. Thank you, Mr. Wilson. I'm glad somebody knows what's going on around here. That's because I completely forgot and didn't change it. I've only been doing this for 120 odd shows. You think I'd know what's going on by now? Appreciate it, Mr. Wilson. Let's put that one up so I can remember in just a second. Let's get it into a glass and we'll talk a little bit about Mason, have a little look at them, find out where they are and what they do. To say, also have a little look at Steamtown as well, because I haven't been back to their website for a long, long time. It took me a while to get anything out of Steamtown. And when I did, I thoroughly enjoyed the beers. So, yeah, smoked pretzel stout. 4.8%. So, jolly decent sessionable stout for a smoked stout, maybe. Pours slightly thin into glass, but nice head development. Looks like a nice, more off-white head than kind of tan or brown or anything, but looks good. See if I can get this right. It's nearly there. Ooh, I think I've just gone a few mils over because it keeps wanting to go that way. Why does it want to go that way? It's not that heavy, that side. Ah, there we go. We have lift off. So we have to carefully step around the camera to get that angle in, but it's there. I have to put the laptop light down for this one so we can get less reflections. Oops, I want to show you that. Especially I'm not sure I can see what you guys can see. So let's go that way. It's not too bad. It's not the best balance ever. I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to turn it. So I can see the Mason name. There you go. That's better. We're in. We're in. A little bit different with two breweries on there. Getting both in the picture, and I don't know what you guys can see with my hand in the way, but no, let's go there. Does that work? Is it in focus? Yeah, that's not too bad, I would say. That's all right. We can work with that. Takes a while, but we get there. Let's put you back up and save that for going on. Fairly quick, dissipating head. This is ever for the reminder, Mr. Wilson. Yeah, so it's quite thinnish and Coca-Cola-like, quite a little bit fizzy. But good head development, even though it's not great head retention. Yeah, Steam smoked beers. Love them or hate them, let me know. I quite like them. I certainly like trying them and see what we get. So let's have a little look at this one. Sniff first. I think I know what I'm going to smell here. Ooh. Okay, no. At first, I thought I wanted one of those stouts that has a slightly vegetal note, and it kind of does, but only because of the smoke, I think. I can smell. It feels like I can smell salted petrol. I can taste salted pretzel just from the smell. Definitely a big kind of doughy kind of slight salinity there. Definitely a nice medium smoke on that. Not overpowering, not bacon-like. Definitely some kind of wood smoke going on. But definitely kind of like, I don't know, barbecued bread kind of thing. Definitely some warm bread. Anyway, let's have a look, see what we've got. Cheers and enjoy the beers. Smoked on up. Nice. That's a very good go. That's very good. Love the taste of bacon. Yeah, I like bacon beers and smoked beers. Obviously, the first one on most people's lips is Schlenkerla. Difficult to say. More about that later. But yeah, this one, not really bacon. I don't know, toasted ham sandwich maybe. There's a little bit of sort of meat smoke in there. Bit of charred ends of ham, maybe, but charred gammon perhaps. Not really full bacon. Little bit of salinity, like I say. Definitely a nice kind of bready note. Maybe it's a bit psychosomatic because I'm looking at the can, but it feels like there's a bit of pretzel in there. Definitely feels like a bit of a good balance of smoke. Some people, I think, don't like the smoke because it's a bit wild, a bit way out, perhaps. And some of those Schlenkerla beers, which I guess, apart from one or two others, is pretty much the de facto smoked beer on everyone's lips when you say smoked beer. Hard to say. Yeah, nice, really nice. I'm going to go straight to the can first. Mason Brewing, it says, brewed in the heart of Cornwall, we're a family-run brewery creating high-quality, approachable beer. Which is probably brave then to do a smoked beer because it's not everyone's favourite, despite it being mine. Our tap room in 3 Milestone, Cornwall. I would be hard-pressed to know Cornwall reasonably well, but would be hard-pressed to put that on a map. Reflects that ethos. With a nod to tradition, it's an inviting space where you can meet, reconnect, and explore. Come by and say hi. I hope to at some point. It's been a long time since I've been down the West Country, in Cornwall. But yeah, always love to pop in. It says brewed in collaboration with our friends at Steamtown Brewco in Eastleigh. This is a bold twist on tradition. I'd love to know how these little collabs like this come all about, whether they've like met at a festival or maybe there's some kind of employee connection, because Southampton to Cornwall is a fair old distance. Yeah, so I'd love to know how they come about, to be fair. Anyway, it says set on a base of dark malts, beechwood smoked malt, lends a touch of savoury smoke, for sure, while pretzels mixed into the mash add saltiness and bready notes to create a smooth, nuanced stout. Absolutely not wrong. The Cornish water there, it pains to point out, of course. Yeah, pretzels in the ingredients. Brewed in cans at Mason Brew Co. Cornwall. It's Truro postcode, so not far out. This beer is best before November 26th. Very fresh again. I think I saw it upon the release. Couldn't pick it up from Mason. Had to go to a little shop called Red Elephant in Truro. Featured them last week when I did the majority of the Cornish beers, 3 Cornish beers that I got from them. Again, yeah, a little shop I've not heard of, but they got a web shop. Got a whole bunch of Cornish beers, including the usual ones, Verdant, etc. And as you know, I do now, it seems, drink Verdant. I have picked up a couple of their beers recent. But yeah, I went for some other really unknown ones, especially this one. I heard of Steamtown. But yeah, this is, I would say, mild smoke. So it's gently all in balance. There's the salt again. Feels like a bit of sea salt with a salted pretzel. There's that nice kind of pretzel doughy kind of flavour. It's sort of more in the background. It's sort of the balance between the salinity and the smoke. A little bit of kind of barbecue, if you'd like fried some bagels, not fried, warmed up some bagels, toasted some bagels on a barbecue, that kind of thing going on. Nice sweetness. A little bit of chocolate there from the darker malts. It feels like that kind of chocolatey sweetness, touch of chocolate spread maybe. But yeah, chocolate and salted. It's not quite caramel. It's a bit stronger than caramel. It's salted chocolate rather than salted caramel. Say with that salted pretzel going on. But yeah, just Really nice. You can feel the salt crystals almost bursting on the lips. Very drinkable for me. Again, a bit way out perhaps for some. Let's have a quick look at Mason then. Yeah, there's an actual smoke there now as well. Forgot to line this one up. So they are just outside of Truro. Yeah, it does sound worth trying. Not heard of either brewery. Yeah, like I say, I was doing Steamtown about 4 or 5 years ago, down in Eastleigh. Well, not far, kind of towards the coast from yourself, Mr. Wilson. I don't know how far out they get. I found them very difficult initially to get hold of until they set up their own web shop. I've not seen their cans at many other places outside of Southampton, to be fair, but they do have a pretty decent web shop, and by the looks of things, I've not been, but a really nice tap room down in Eastleigh. Yeah, I mean, well, we'll have a look in a minute. Let's go have a look at Mason first of all. I did have a brief look at their website. So nice bit of artwork. I have got a web shop. Not bad. Hang on. Right. So they have got a web shop. Sure, I looked and they didn't the other day, but maybe not. Right. So our story. We see mostly what they're about. Yeah, that's the same as it says on the can. They have got a tap room. Solid. Looking fermenters going on there. Mash tun going on there. So just t-shirts at the moment. I didn't get these direct and didn't think to pick up a t-shirt. Not bad prices. Anything on the back? No back print. Anyway, can't see anything about any of the beers on here. I mean, obviously, a website takes more than that. All products. Oh no, it's all products in the shop. Sorry. Yeah, so I can't really see any of their beers. I have got another one of their beers. I've got a 4.4% pale ale, easy pale. So I thought I'd pick that up. So, looks like they're doing good things just outside of Truro. If you ever get down that way. So worth noticing, worth knowing about. Jaggers, good evening to you. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're either enjoying the fireworks or if you've got a beer on this Wednesday night. I'm doing some smoked beers. Do let us know what you're drinking, Mr. Wilson. Also, if you're anybody popping in, do let us know what you're drinking because I love chatting about beers, you know. Popping in after the event as well. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for watching. Even if you're just skimming through when I put the chapters up. Oh, I forgot to do that one the other day. Yeah, I put chapters up so you can just skip through the beers. Makes it easier. You don't have to watch all of it. I don't look at watch time. I'm just enjoying drinking good beer. Yeah, so this one's, like I say, nice maltiness. It's like chocolate kind of feel. Kind of a chocolate covered pretzel, to be fair. But yeah, nice salted chocolate pretzel flavors that I wouldn't normally have thought about, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago. But now in these kind of craft beer things, kind of anything's possible. Once you've got a bit of smoked malt, anything else goes, I think, really. That's a West Coast Pale Ale from a track, 5.2%. Solid, as we found out the other day. I'm generally indifferent to West Coasts. Like slightly more of a NEPA as long as they don't go too pine. But yeah, jolly solid. Good stuff. Good stuff. Right, let's have a look at Steamtown as well. Hopefully the screen stayed in focus. Now they've hopefully sorted it out so that it doesn't go all blurry and out of focus when I go onto other websites. I can't spell and I forgot to queue all these up first. Normally I queue them up, right. I did this in a bit of a rush at work this afternoon. I forgot to do all the others, so I was a bit late. StreamYard don't make it easy. As soon as you said pine, that's what I'm getting. Well, that's because it's actually there. Yeah, I mean, some do, some don't. I always think West Coast go a bit orange, which I like. But see, I'm sure Steamtown have got a West Coast. Yeah, so like I say, down in Eastleigh, that's their tap room. Looks fairly new, but also they've got a lot of kind of obviously railway related stuff. Eastleigh's a big railway kind of town. All right, okay. Oh no, we are celebrating a trial of a smaller can size, 330ml Disco Fluff. No need. I mean, I can't say too much because we do 330s, but they already had 440s. There we go. Look, talking of which, they're West Coast IPA, 5.4% tropical citrus pine. Yeah, I have had a can of that in 440. I don't know. What do you guys reckon? 330s or 440s? Some breweries do, some breweries don't. Cost thing. Obviously, my brewery does 330, so I can't really say out, but that's not really my choice. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Maybe I will have to try all the 330s then. Imperial Rays. See, that's in a 330. Intense chocolate fudge sundae dessert beer. Well, at 10%, I'm fine with 330s. 10%, really, to be fair, on the general. But yeah, they have been in 440s. Firebox, I think, is one I've never tried. A red ale, but that does suggest a bit of smokiness as well. But I don't think it is. Yeah, I like the sound of that. I'm all for trying red ales. A New England Pale, I did have one of those, but not being New England fan, I wasn't that far. Oh, hello. That's clever. A Czech signal. Is that a Pilsner? Czech. Oh, it's a dark lager. Oh, no, I wasn't going to buy any more beer this week. But I do like a dark lager. Touch of Mandarina Brother. This could be a 6-pack coming up, you know. Let's Disco Fluff the Hellas Lager. Maybe I should try it in 330. I've already had one. See, they've got their 440s. That's interesting. See, 440s, 415, but they put a discount on it. Probably to introduce the 330s. 330s at 230 is a very good introductory offer. And the West Coast IPA. Do you know what I mean? I could pick a couple of those dark lagers up, a couple of red ales. That Imperial and probably a Disco Fluff. There's a couple I've missed. Like I say, I haven't been on some. I have got a bottle, a 10% cherry stout in there. Quick look at the merch. Long size glass. So I'll show you some pictures of they did have a gallery of their tap room. Can't see it. Anyway, that's Steamtown. I really like Steamtown. Like I say, yeah, same. Otherwise, I prefer pint cans. Yeah, fair enough. There's a few breweries that do pint cans or even 500 mils. So many can sizes. I think 440 kind of got settled on because it was like a nice mid thing. But yeah, 330s for in piece is probably fair enough because you're going to pay a high price anyway. Mr. B, good evening to you. Welcome along. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're having a good week. Doing some smoked beers because it's bonfire night, isn't it? But even though, I don't know about you, but there's not too much fireworks going on, I thought we'd be accompanied by a cacophony from across the road. Maybe they've all gone out. to a fireworks thing. I couldn't be bothered, to be honest. I'll just look out the window a little bit later, see what's going later on. Yeah, but I thought some smoky beers from some completely unknown breweries would be appropriate. Called it Smoke on the Water, and now all I can think of is that tune, that intro, that guitar intro from that song that I put on the Instagram story. But there we go. This is really nice. It started off, I thought it was going to be a bit thin, but if it's warmed a little, and yeah, a really nice, fairly gentle smoke, to be fair, for 4.8%. It's definitely got those kind of Bamberg beechwood notes going on. There's a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of dark roast, not so much on the coffee. It's more chocolate, which balances really nice off the pretzel. Apparently, pretzel's actually in the mash. Whether they're using actual fresh pretzels or what, I don't know, but they do actually list them. Lots of fireworks going off here. One dog going crazy, other not all bothered. Yeah, I was just saying earlier, the cat's not all that bothered. She just wants to be inside on my lap, and she's sulking because I'm sitting here at the table, not on the sofa. So she's just sulking in the kitchen, looking at the fireworks. She's not scared. She's a tough-nosed street cat, Stray, so she's seen it all before. But yeah, kind of, I thought she might be running in and out, but bless her. She'll have a little snooze. She's been out all day. I was asking the question earlier. I didn't put it in the description. I nearly do. How much smoked beers is too much smoked beers? It was a bit much the other week when I did 3 sours on the bounce. That was pushing it a bit. Smoked beer is a bit more my thing, but I still think, I wonder by beer 3, will I suffer for a bit too much smoke? I think it depends on how balanced against each other they are. I'm enjoying this one. This is really nice. Like I say, that nice little balance going on. Not a bottle of Schlenkerla in sight. This one, very reminiscent of a Schlenkerla. But then Schlenkerla don't do stouts as such, do they? Oh, wheat beers. But no, this is really nice. And that kind of salt, the salinity on there from them salted pretzels. I actually don't need to be boshing these down, but I can. Do you know what I'm going to do? The other day, I put a beer down and moved on because I wasn't enjoying it. This one, I might put it down because I'm enjoying it, and I want to check the others because I think I'm going to enjoy the others, and then maybe after the stream, because I like to do an hour or so. I might go back to this because it'll just get better. Really, really nice. Lucky that Torside is 8 miles from me to do great smoked beers. Yeah, absolutely. I would like to have put a Torside in this one. I think I should have looked on Trembling Manors because I think they are there. I've got picked them up from Trembling before. But yeah, I would say in this country, like I said before, Schlenkerla is the de facto smoked beer kind of thing. But yeah, Torside in this country are pretty much the de facto smoked beers, and I've had several and thoroughly enjoyed all of them. To be fair, White Glass, good evening to you. I hope you're doing all right and enjoying the beers. I hope you got a beer on tonight. Let us know what you got. Just want to mention my brother, we both have a litre of chili porter. He's finding a bit too spicy. I'll try tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to know who that's from. You don't see too many for that reason, probably. But yeah, I've had 1 or 2. Chili porters are a whole different thing. I would not do 3 of those in a row. They definitely need to be in 330s, I would say. And yeah, I think I would find that a bit of a struggle. Pretzel stout. Yeah, especially with the smoked malt. It's kind of, it's just like barbecued pretzels going on, really. Little salted pretzels as well. So yeah, the balance, the bounce of between the smoking, it's not unaggressively smoked. beechwood smoke, particularly. It's fairly gentle, really nice. Balances off the bready note of the pretzel, and with the dark malt, there's a little bit of chocolate. So it's a bit like cutting open a pretzel, smoking it on the barbecue, and then spreading a bit of Nutella going on. There's a little bit of nuttiness as well. Jamie, good evening to you. Yeah, not too bad. I'm doing all right tonight. Not exactly hiding from the fireworks, but there aren't that many out. I thought there would be. Was going to do the show from outside in the garden, but I just couldn't get the angle and the lighting right. So back here in the Disco Arms, and I can't hear that much about, so probably wouldn't have seen that much. But yeah, 3 hopefully decent beers. It's a really good start. I'm going to move on in a second, come back to that one, I think. White gloves, lemonade beer from Aldi. At the minute, trying to do a few reviews. As you've run out, shit. I dream of the day when I run out of beers. I keep buying more. Should we do that now? Yeah, I would. Let's do that now. Why not? And then I might just finish this one. Yeah. So, stepping aside. Oh, Hogsback. Oh, okay. Oh, the Hogsback. Chili porter. Interesting. I remember you mentioning that the other week. Yeah, that's a real departure from them, to be fair. Talking of departure, I like to do a little unboxing. And I bought a couple of beers. I put them up on Instagram, so you might have seen these already. I got 2 6-packs in today from 2 different breweries. I could only fit one in my bag to get it back from the brewery. I get it delivered up there because I know I'm going to be there. There's an interesting one. You guys obviously probably have heard of these guys. Salopian, up in Shropshire. I know all the Beer No Ideas featured them quite a bit because that's where he is, up that way. So I got a naughty little 6-pack in just for one beer and one beer only. But then I saw all the others on there, and I haven't seen Salopian. I've had several pints of Salopian in various pubs over the years, but I've never seen them in cans. And now they've started doing some crafty kind of stuff and a bunch of collabs. It says here, quietly brewing beautiful beers. That's not wrong. They are a little bit under the radar, maybe a little bit underrated, apart from 1 or 2 beers. Based in the heart of rolling Shropshire countryside, Salopian make uncompromising, beautiful beer. Very traditional beer, lots of best beers and that kind of thing. For over a quarter of a century, so well pre-craft, but now dabbling with craft. We have, that's my words, we have sourced the highest quality ingredients, etc., etc. All right, let's get these out quickly and have a quick look. Right, so this is why I bought this, and it comes in a nice little presentation 6-pack. I don't know if you've seen that. I'll put it over here because there's lots of flaps flapping around. So this is the beer I bought this box for. Again, talking about these guys, a Cornwall brewery and a Hampshire brewery, not too far away, I suppose. But yeah, I bought this one, Salopian, in combination with Anspach and Hobday. Now, obviously, on this channel, we used to talk quite a lot about Anspach and Hobday, Rasco's local beer. So he is always talking about them. But yeah, so from South London to Salopia, or Shropshire, as it were, it's called Black Forest. It's a stout, obviously, but they don't actually say stout anywhere on the can. 5.6%, a bunch of cherry in there. So having known Salopian and obviously knowing Anspach and Hobday, I wanted to know. Again, couldn't find it anywhere. I saw somebody else mention it. Couldn't find it in bottle shops. Wasn't on Trembling Madness or anything like that. So I went direct to Salopian. Unfortunately, I got a web shop sorted. Did not realise that. So yeah, that's why I dived in for a little 6-pack. Turns out they've done a bunch of other collabs as well. This one with Neon Raptor, kind of not in the news, but kind of fairly trendy at the moment. Neon Raptor. It's another stout. It's called The Void. And it's a cocoa vanilla whiskey infused coffee beans, which sounds interesting and generally a fair departure, I think, for Salopian. Drunk too much Tennent's, no such thing. Fair play. And the third collab, which again is kind of interesting, especially as I've been sort of getting into them a bit more recently. I had one on the show the other week, the pumpkin beer. This one is from Buxton collab. And this one, not a stout, it's... All right, so it's a mashup of their beer Lemon Dream, which I also got, which is a zesty golden ale. Had many pints of that over the years, not for some time. So it's a mashup of that and a Buxton beer, I guess, called Trollhungo. Can't say I've a mashup of Trolltunga and Lemon Dream, a vibrant hazy sour IPA with intense lemon zest and tangy gooseberries. Odd, as we found out the other day when I did that sour double IPA. I put the Neon Map 2 in a bucket in case it explodes. Has that been the issue? That's not the issue I was thinking of with Neon Map 2. I'm guessing that relates to the fruity sours. Less likely, I would think, to have a stout go. But interesting. I'd missed that particular nugget of information, or I don't know, rumor, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, fair play. So the final one is another one of their own beers. So 3 collabs and 2 of their own beers. It's a white IPA called White Whale. White IPAs are kind of almost like a Belgian-y style, usually with a lot of kind of what's that sea herb? I can't remember. Not cardamom. Let's have a look. Yeah, cardamom. A coriander, that's the one. So clove and coriander spice dance with bursts of fresh orange zest, and some American hops that give it that kind of bitterness, but usually in a white IPA it's kind of a more restrained bitterness. It's mainly, like I say, the orange pith kind of thing. So a nice little lineup. Also got 6 beers in from Hackney Church, including a gazpacho ghost, believe it or not. Yeah, tomato, cucumber, garlic, and red pepper. Very strange, but as you know, I've got a tomato beer on the bar. I did have. So a couple of other things in that ain't going to bother me too much. I am definitely trying it. So, yeah, interesting set of collabs. Again, I guess they've just called them up and said, hey, what about it? And, mainly that Black Forest Stout is the main thing I went for. So, nice little set, nice little presentation box as well. Well pleased with that. So I couldn't fit the Hackney Church one in my bag, so I got it up there. So yeah, I haven't seen anybody else. I've seen a reference to it. I haven't seen anybody else review that Salopian or anything much from Salopian, to be fair. So hopefully, if I can get that out fairly quick and have a look at it. A smoke on that is much kind of, not less, but it's kind of just dulled back a little bit. Still really good, like I say, those chocolate notes, those bready pretzel notes, and that salt, sea salt, kind of coating the lips and kind of sparkling a little. So I'm gonna think about that one later because I want to try that again. Gonna move on a little bit because time's ticking on. I must have enjoyed that. I've been banging on about it for 40 minutes. I don't think there's any point cleansing the palate with water in between these two because it's probably just going to be more smoke, and I don't feel I'm going to get that salinity out of it. So it will definitely bounce off the next few beers and it'll be fine, but I think it might be difficult. I think you should probably just finish with a smoked beer in a set of 3 and not bother doing 3. But I'm 1 beer into a 3 beer set, so I'm going to have to just carry on, aren't I? With another smoked beer. 4. Beer number 2, please. And beer number 2 is, as you've probably seen from the thumbnail, it's a bottle. So this is absolute bitch to photograph. So we'll see how that goes. No can balance. So Mr. Wilson is relieved of duties for now. Did you see the beer review the other day? Brewed with sap rather than water. The beer was, I can't remember if I commented on that one. Birch sap. Very interesting. I enjoyed that one. My boss has been talking about doing a birch sap beer for some time. I think you have to get it at the right time. I don't know, it's late spring or something, or early summer. And once again, we sadly missed the boat on that. Apparently, I think it's quite a delicate flavour. Sap rather than water. depending on the brew size, and Yonder are pretty big because they've got quite a lot of beers. Unless it was like on a smaller pilot kit, that's a lot of sap to drain out of a lot of trees. You don't drain the whole tree, like obviously you want to keep it alive. But yeah, really interesting one. I do need to go back and rewatch that actually, and show it to my boss, see what he says. But yeah, also kind of odd for Yonder to do really something like that, because they are kind of into their kind of big sours or big stouts. So a little bit experimental, I guess, and I'm all for that. Yeah, go have a look at that one. That's a really interesting. That's like an interesting concept, something really different as well. Right, so let's get this bottle into a glass and try and photograph it. One thing you will not hear me say generally is smoke on the opening. Remember that phrase. But here we go. Let's see if we get any what other people call smoke on the opening. No, none. So no smoke on the opening there. Never mind. Oh yeah, change the banner so we know what it is. This is from a brewery, well, a meadery and brewery called Hive, specialise in mead, honey fermented drinks, but they've also do a few beers as well. And this one is a honey smoked porter. No, a smoked honey porter. Pours into the glass, fairly lively, a touch Coca-Cola-esque thin. The liveliness gives some good head development. 375ml bottle, 7%. Nice. I'm going to let that head dissipate a little bit. Yeah, so what do we know about meads? I've had some Hive Mind beers before. I think I had a honey pilsner from them. I picked up in a can, which I think you can get in some co-ops now. So, and they've got a couple of other big beers as well in bottles. I was looking on their website the other week, and then I saw this one at Trembling Madness when I picked some random stuff up the other day, and I picked this one specifically because I was looking on their website. I was kind of interested in it, so I thought we'd do this one as something a little bit different in the smoke range, with that kind of honey mead note going on. That gives you an idea of where I'm going with that. I'm not going to go and get a spoon on it, but I don't think I want to wait for it to settle. Yeah, remind me halfway to do the photo later. Oh, that's got an odd kind of taste just from sucking up the froth. Weird. A little bit menthol, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but more like ever so slightly menthol cigarette, which is weird. So let's do the sniff properly, not too much with that massive head development. I think it's probably smoked malt because they're a meadery. They've got access to absolute bucket loads of honey, I guess. So I think they probably use smoked malt rather than smoking the honey. I will have a little look on the website in a minute, and that's a really good question. I wonder. I think it would be smoked malt to get the more smokier flavour. Smoked honey would be, I think, difficult to get much smoked flavour into a beer. But yeah, see a few honey beers. We've got one on the bar at the moment at 7.5%. So honey puts quite a lot into a beer, mostly the sugars and the fermentables. But yeah, that's a good question. I'll come back on that one and have a look when we find out the information. I'll have a look on the website or read the bottle. For the moment, let's do the taste. Yeah. Yeah, slightly difficult with the still a little bit of salinity from the previous one, but it works really well together, to be fair. Definitely a honey note there. I'm going to try not to compare it to the one we've got on the bar, the 7.5%, because that's a honey pale ale, but the honey does provide a bucket load of honey, and that provides a nice smooth kind of honey flavour. as it does in this one. Like I say, there's yeah, it's not a tang. It's like a slight sort of roughness, which is also there in our honey bit. Oh, a little bit of spirity edge going on there now. But I don't know what spirit. There is a little bit of kind of dark sugar rum notes going on. There's a little bit of kind of, well, I guess the spirit is mead. I guess is that kind of a very high ABV honey drink, like sort of slight barrel aging. That massive head development isn't going away. It's kind of staying, which is fine. Just as long as I remember to take the photograph at some point. It will dissipate if I hang on. Let's have a look on the can and see if we can answer that smoked question. I think it's probably the malt. It's difficult to read even with my terrible eyesight. Yeah, so 7%. Right, so made for long evenings and campfire circles, Big Smoke is our take on a classic London porter, but with a rural twist inspired by a beekeeper's trusty Hive smoker. Oh, interesting. Yes, because they go and like smoke the bees to get out of the way, don't they? Our porter is dark and smoky smooth, oozing with honey notes. This beer is brewed using honey from our bees and is paired with a rich dark malt smoked over beechwood. So maybe there's a little bit of both going on. If you extract the honey, does that smoke impart any flavors into the honey? No, so I think it's basically smoked beechwood malt, so probably Bamberg malt. Oh, they're in Wales, are they? Oh, I didn't realise that. I did not realise they were that far west. Best before, whilst I'm seeing it, August 2026. So once again, fairly fresh and present. Nice bit of kind of dark, but very present artwork on there, showing the beehives. I don't know if that will focus properly. So there's kind of beehives and a bit of kind of a dark evening in the smokery going on. It's called Big Smoke. I'm thinking there's less smoky notes. Again, it's definitely that kind of beechwood, kind of Bamberg-esque kind of smoky note gone. It's just sort of, it's a bit more subtle than the first one. It's kind of there in the background. The honey's up front, dark kind of roasty notes from a porter. Touch of bourbon biscuit going on there. A little bit of balance between coffee and chocolate. Nice, really nice going on. Definite smoothness. Definite, roasty notes of a porter. Still that kind of, it's cigarettes in a good way, a slightly menthol note. And I'm not sure where or what that is or what it's from. It's not unpleasant. It's nice. That's one to try because that's just, Hive Mind are becoming fairly commercial. I think, like I say, I think they're in supermarkets. Not this one, obviously, but I've had something in supermarket. Nice bubbles on the head development there. Let's get this photograph out of the way. I'm going to use Mr. Wilson's reminder from previously. I've got to scroll back quite far. Photo reminder. So I'm not going to do the balance on this one. Pee in a bottle. Put that down. Don't know what sort of thing we're going to get with the reflection. I might not do the whole bottle photograph actually. I don't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm just going to tidy the glass up a little bit. I'm not normally that picky. It is what it is. So let's go from underneath, shall we? Something a bit different. Light that up. Yeah, I'm going to struggle a little bit with that, but no, it shows that it's a porter. Nice, nice notes going on there. Yeah, really fabulous from Hive Mind. Let's have a little look on the website. See what they say. So I've had a look on the website last month. Yeah, again, it's going a little bit kind of cigarette smoke, but a kind of menthol cigarette, which, again, not terrible. I've never really been a big smoker. I had the occasional menthol, and the occasional other cigarette, but yeah, there's a slight sort of menthol note going on, which is weird, but not unpleasant. So I just queuing up. Like I say, I haven't not queued up these properly. So this is Hive Mind. Let's look at Bouts first. 10% off your first order. Again, really tempting. Really tempting. So it says, our mission is to bring a real authentic mead back and offer it as a contemporary alternative to beer, cider, and wine, even though they're doing beer as well. You may have noticed that you don't see mead for sale that often, and the mass market mead that is out there is often sold on the novelty angle rather than it being a genuinely delicious drink in its own right. I don't know what mass market mead there is, to be fair. I can only think of Hive Mind and the one in South London. What are they called? Begins with G. I should know them. We've stocked them. Anyway, there's a saying in the honey world, real honey isn't cheap and cheap honey isn't real. This is true. Most of your supermarket honeys are not, in fact, honey in a truest sense from hives. It is basically, well, the beekeeper of the farm describes it as basically sugar syrup. And there may be a sparkling of some honey in it, but it's bulked out mostly by sugar syrup. So if you find proper farm honey and proper local honey, that's why it costs a bit more, because it's more to produce from actual beehives and actual honey. And yeah, those in the honey world are quite vocal about that. In supermarkets, your squeezy honey, yeah, it's basically just sugar syrup. Still tastes nice, but not as good for you, or not bad for you. Same can be applied to the world of mead. There are many drinks on the market claiming to be mead, but under close scrutiny, they are white wines sweetened with sugar and honey flavorings, or spirit alcohol blended with water and flavorings. I wouldn't have known that, to be fair. Like I say, I can't think of too many mead distributors. Although we had that one, didn't we? The Viking lot. That was last year. We still call it mead, as all the alcohol is created by fermenting honey. I've taken up beekeeping at the age of 18. Love for bees, honey, and a countryside sparked our journey. We began in Matt's garage, as so many breweries do. Not in Matt's garage, just in a garage, which we converted into a micro meadery to test our ideas. Won a great taste award. Soon outgrew the garage and started brewing at a local brewery in Chepstow using spare tank capacity. So the brewing process seems to be roughly the same. And trading at local farmers markets in 2018. These are the guys, Matt, and that's the garage owner. I recognise Paul from somewhere, and Junior the dog. Yeah, so let's have a quick look at the things on offer. And these are, yeah, I think you'd really like this one, even though it's still a beer. I don't even know that meadery kind of thing going on. Slightly more floral in the flavour now. It's settled a little. Definitely a very strong honey taste. Keeps wanting to offer me 10% off. Right, so let's look at the honey beers. I'm not going to go too much into the meads. There's that one, Nectar, the honey pilsner. I had that a while back. Again, really nice honey flavour. Pollen infused pale ale. I think I had that one somewhere as well. Right, there's this one we're talking about. They call it a Braggot, although they don't mention Braggot on the bottle. But in reference, yes, I'm going to decline for now. Yeah, so Braggot is a honey beer. Like I say, the one we've got on the bar at the moment, 7.5%, good, very special. We did do it 11% and called it a Braggot. We call it a honey pale ale Braggot, really, I suppose. A Braggot is what happens when honey meets beer, brewed on 30% honey and 70% malt. I mean, the honey's in the mash. We condition on honey. Made for long evenings. We've read all that. Yeah, so yeah, a Braggot. So good word to remember. Don't see too many Braggots, to be fair. That's the other one I was really looking at. Rave coffee. Rave coffee is stout, blends their signature coffee with mellow oats and a good helping of honey. Full-bodied and velvety. It brings with notes of dark chocolate espresso and smooth honeyed finish. So I like the sound of that one as well. Again, 375ml bottle. So if I see that about, there was a collab. I think they've got a MEad collab with Turning Point. Funny enough, slightly hence the t-shirt. Yeah, and they also do a whole bunch of like sparkling meads. Hang on, it disappeared. No, oh, there we go. Yeah, so like lots of fruited meads and stuff. Honey and rhubarb, honey elderflower, ginger, raspberry, and sour cherry. I mean, I'd try all those, to be fair. But I think I generally prefer, sparkling mead can be quite kind of light and obviously sparkling, but I prefer the beer because of the slight that malt brings that kind of slightly bigger body kind of flavor rather than just being a kind of fruit drink. But I'd try all them if I could. Honey Aid. All right, so that's like it's even more sparkling and I guess lighter, like lemonade, honey. Strawberry and basil's a weird one, but yeah, I'm not going to try anytime soon, right, unless they send me some, because there's so many beers to try. But yeah, lovely looking stuff. And this is really nice. Tastes really good. Yeah, absolutely superb. That lovely kind of fragranced honey note. Nice maltiness and slightly more gentle on the background smoke. Again, nowhere near bacon, as you often get with the likes of, say, or certain Schlenkerla beers, certain smoked beers. It's closest it gets to bacon is a kind of slightly barbecued ham, which goes well with honey as well. Yeah, so yeah, in my never-ending quest to do unusual beers and beers that other people probably don't do or haven't heard of, Hive mine sits in there really nicely, being it's not even predominantly a brewery, but they do some honey-based beers as well. I do them really well. This is the third one I've had from them. Really enjoyed. See if I can find a link. And I never do. I never get around to finding the link and putting it up there at the right place. But yeah, I see I did it on another live, that honey pilsner. So yeah, I should have. That's probably what I should have done. Torside really, because I have all got stouts and porters tonight. I do like like a smoked lager, or a smoked pale ale. And Torside are pretty good for that. I think Torside are pretty much all smoked beers. I'm sure I've had a non-smoked beer from Torside. just because I think you have to balance the range out a little bit. And if not, I think they should. Or maybe they do a really light smoked beer, but you can't, I don't know, go to Torso's Tap Room. Can you go to Torso's Tap Room and can you be drinking smoked beers all afternoon? I don't know whether 3 smoked beers is one too many. Let's find out on the next one. Really nice. That I'm going to put it aside and have a go. Oh, there was another thing I was going to talk about, wasn't there? Let's get the next one in the glass and then have a chat. Nice conditioning on that, I was going to say, because it's kind of that's the one I was thinking about. I knew it began with G. Gosnell's mead. Really very drinkable meads. Had their raspberry and something floral. Had it on the bar. Very, very like juicy, fruity kind of, but that balanced by the honey. It's not massively light, but Gosnell's mead we like. So Torso do some nice Belgian beers as well. I guess they do some non-smoked beers. That's cool. That's good. Here we go. Bear with me a second. So that the nose has been touch and go all evening, and it finally just went to explode. Yeah. So again, I'm going to move on, not because I don't like the beer. I find it hard to get through, just because I want to have a little after stream revisit, really, and sitting there and just sort of kind of. Cheers, Jagged. Have a good evening, my friend. Just because I want to sit back and have another little think about these beers because they're really nice, and you can tell they're really nice because I've been wanging on about them a bit too long, as well as looking at all the other stuff. So let's go on. If I can find it. Let's go on to beer number 3, please. Beer number 3. Going back to Cornwall, as I say, you've got plenty of beers from the West Country to get through. This is one from a little brewery called Padstow, which I have heard of and had beers from before. Bear with. Oh, the nose. Bloody hell. Good man, sir. Hey, Paul Ramley's beers. How are you doing, sir? I'm imagining these beers are kind of in your wheelhouse. Nice smoked beer. How about it? What do you reckon? Is 3 smoked beers too many smoked beers? Oh, good man yourself, sir. Good man. Get another beer on. Joining. Superb for a midweek mini session here on Just Disco Beer Review. I somehow thought you might, sir. Good man. So yeah, I'm not sure whether doing 3 smoked beers in a session is necessarily a good one. Ryan loves them too. Superb. So you've had this one. Fair play. It's not really a game I play like have I had a beer that David Wilson hasn't had. But yeah, I thought that 3 probably lesser known smoked beers in the UK might be one that'd be like more interesting, that less people had seen. And so my side quest to do as many beers that nobody else has sort of heard of, really. I don't chase the numbers particularly, but I do like doing something interesting, and these ones do. Okay, well, you say was okay, which is not a massive ringing endorsement, but let's have a look at it. Let's get it into a glass, and then we'll do the photograph. There's a reminder up here somewhere. Balance that can. Okay, I will. Well, if I can. So also change the banner disco. So yes, beer number 3 is see down the bottom there from Padstow Brewery, called The Smoke. This one was called Big Smoke. This is called the Smoke. It's 4.5% smoked oatmeal stout. So we're going back down the scale a little bit. And I can still taste the salt from the salted pretzel one. So who knows? Maybe that'll enhance this again. Will sit quite well, I would think. So a smoked oatmeal stout. So we've gone stout, porter stout, which is fine. I like the name. The Smoke. The Smoke. Yeah, sorry, that's just me. Right, so let's get it in. Yeah, so 4.5%. So again, looks a little thin, but as we've seen with the previous two, it hasn't really been a problem. It's like Coca-Cola, like no. Oh, I think I've gone too far. But nice little bit of head development. I think there was one once where I just balanced it straight off. Oh, I've heard the cat. She's jumped down. That means she's going to try and get in. Hopefully, don't try and get in and knock my can down because I've managed the can balance. So, I've lost my place. Bear with. There we go. Just so everybody knows what's going on. While I'm balancing the can, stepping off the screen. Makes us always for the reminders. So, yeah, again, quite a difficult one to photograph, obviously. All black can and silver banding and writing to boot. But no, it might be okay, actually. It might be all right tonight. It might be a first time, you know. No, wasn't in focus. Try again. Try again. Looks better. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, that's all good. Nice. Yeah, nice. So, yeah, I'm 3 behind because I never did get a chance to do any write-ups this afternoon. It's far too busy. Far too busy. So I'll put the beer deliveries up on Instagram instead because that was far easier. I didn't have to think about that. So, yeah, so get the rest of that into cans. So, yeah, good head development, reasonable carbonation. So yeah, number 4 was a beer festival. Said taste buds may have been overloaded by other stuff. Yeah, easily done. I've got a right mix between those two going on, flavors wise in my mouth, and no amount of water is going to wash that out. But yeah, there's all that kind of pretzel going on, a slight bit of salt going on, and a little bit of honey. It's really nice, really nice. Yeah, nice. Yeah, you get that kind of experience, both enjoying beers. Sulphur Beer Festival on Friday evening. There'll be some good, I believe, some collabs going on there, and some good beers. Imperial Stout tasting. Nice. Going out on your own. Right, so yeah, I've got a lot of salt still knocking around the palate, which is that's what Mr. Wilson was saying there. Sometimes I don't think it's a problem because it's all going to be good, but I've carried a little bit through from the previous one. But anyway, yeah, so Padstow Brewing 4.5% of the smoked oatmeal stout. Cheers, all. Oh, nice, super solid stout. There is a little bit of thinness, but it's held together by a nice kind of velvety kind of envelope. It delivers the beer onto the mid palate, and then you get a little bit of smokiness. There's a nice smooth kind of slightly velvety chocolate note, and that kind of, I'm guessing there's quite a lot of oats in it, It's a little bit thin, but like I say, the oats carry it through with that kind of slight velvety chocolateness. And then it goes into, again, slightly light on the smoke. Not a criticism, because the other two have been kind of noticeably smoky, but fairly light. This one, the same. Noticeable smoke. Again, nowhere near your kind of bacon of Schlenkerla or anything like that. I see going to the event solo. Like, what? Yeah, I don't want to not have any Mrs. B reviews, side reviews. So yeah, get us all for Festival with the Brew Club. Gotcha. Mrs. B gets a night off from the beers and from Mr. B. You know, no man, enjoy the festival. It sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, like I say, nice head development, although yeah, not so much on the retention. Little bit of lacing going on, so generally sort of good condition, I guess. Don't think I'm getting a beer festival in this between now and Christmas. There's a couple coming up that I probably should do, but I don't think I will. Don't think I'll get to Pig's Ear in Hackney this year by the looks of it. Although hopefully I'll be delivering some beers there. Don't think I'll get over there for the actual event. Twickenham Beer Festival's coming up, Mr. Wilson. I may or may not get over to that one. We may or may not have some beers there. So if we do, I'll either be delivering it or I will try and get over. It's a possibility. That's coming up later on this month, I think, Twickenham. It's one of those where it's kind of close enough that I should. Transport is a little bit of an issue, more like getting back, but having been into London, shouldn't be a problem. I think I will think about that one. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Not a lot else going on. So yeah, enjoy your beer festivals. I will get back to them at some point. Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing to say about this one, I think it's okay as a fair. I like the velvetiness, definitely that kind of slightly kind of Guinness-esque velvetiness, like Guinness used to be, kind of thing. Again, good ABV, not violently smoky, not bacon, just sort of gentle, like definite wood smoke in the kind of background a little bit, that kind of just sort of envelops it all. Feels like a bit of marshmallow, like oddly. There's no taste there, but it feels like that kind of marshmallow softness, like a bit of toasted marshmallow going on. Nice. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, nice kind of. Yeah, just nice, really nice velvety stout. Definite velvet is the definite descriptor there. The other ones have been kind of much greater, probably flavor wise. Certainly the honey, certainly like kind of that salted pretzel note, but have probably been a little bit rougher by comparison. I guess probably less oats in. Did I say oats on that one? I don't think I did I? No, so no oats in that one. So that was definitely less smooth. This one much smoother, velvety kind of. It's like kind of chocolate note going on. Yeah, a little bit of toasted marshmallow, that kind of thing. Yeah, a nice gentle smokiness. None of them. Certainly, this one nowhere near kind of cigarettes. I think the herbal note on that previous one on the Hive Mind was slightly menthol cigarette, but not greatly, and certainly didn't impede any of the other flavors. But yeah, this one. Very gentle smoking. I think when I say is 3 too many? That's kind of when you get that kind of really big bacony smokiness, that slightly harsh, slightly abrasive smoke almost. So I'm not a smoker, so I'm a big fan of like cigarette or even cigar smoke. None of them. Slightly surprising. I did think I was going to be talking about old brown leather sofas in smoky pubs, and a big kind of waxy cigar going on. Or shouldn't do that, should I? Sorry, like a big waxy cigar. But none of those have evoked that, and I'm quite fond of saying that kind of big, waxy kind of leather kind of note, big cigar note. None of them have been like that. Again, not a bad thing, just like an observation. I quite like a big, smoky kind of stout. Usually that happens when they're not like advertised as a smoky stout, when it's not smoked malts particularly. There's just that kind of evocative cigar smoke sitting on an old brown leather sofa in a slightly smoky pub back in the day, because you can't do that anymore, obviously. But that old brown leather sofa has still got all that kind of smoke character going on. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, these ones have been much more mellow on that smoke, in a good way, in a really good way. None of them refer to themselves, I don't think, as a Rauch beer, particularly, even though they will have those, I guess, Bamberg malts. Yes, Rauch beer. Let's have a look, see what this says. A rich, dark, creamy stout. Yeah, that's what I mean by the velvety kind of marshmallow. Not so creamy, not so sure. Definitely velvety and kind of smooth. Made with 8 different malts, including beech smoke speciality malt, Bamberg, I guess. Gently hopped to allow the malt character to dominate, creamy and smooth with just a hint of smoke. I think it's more than a hint. It's definitely noticeable, but I say not overawing. So Padstow Brewing Company, obviously Padstow town in Cornwall. Best before the 30th of June 2026. Where's Shark when you need him? Oh yeah, he's probably not here because it's a smoked beer stream. Hi Shark, if you're watching afterwards. Oh, here we go. It does at least list. Oh no, it lists all of the ingredients, which is good. I'm always going on about breweries listing stuff. If you've got can space, why not? So the 8 malts in this are Maris Otter, Beech Smoked Malt, Carafa Special 3, Caramel, love a bit of caramel and a bit of Carafa, Oats, Crystal, or say fairly obviously, Chocolate, fairly obviously, and roasted barley. The hops, brilliant. I could have had this last week. I could have used this if I'd seen in the football stream. Hops are Pilgrim, Pilgrim and Willamette, and I guess Nottingham ale yeast. Yeah, nice. One thing I forgot to do, which I really should have been at the beginning. It's not just me on bonfire night, on fireworks night, doing smoked beers. I came up with this concept the other week when I got these in. I thought, well, 5th of November, the ideal time to do a bunch of smoked beers that no one's ever heard of. It's just not me. The Craft Beer Club this afternoon put out their weekly video that included some smoked beers, which I think, including a tour side, by the way, Rob, which I think is possibly one of the best and funniest, if slightly satirical and a little bit of a dig, but definitely one of the best intros to a video, if you get it, one of the best intros to a video anywhere. Well, not ever, but yeah, a very, very good intro to a video. Check this out. Take it away, Brad.
Hey, Big Eats. This week, I can assure you, there's definitely going to be a nice bit of smoke on the opening. Hey?
Okay. I think we all know what that refers to, right? A nice bit of smoke on the opening. I did reference it earlier. I refuse generally to use the term smoke on the opening because it's not smoke. It's gas, as far as I know. And yeah, I don't mind that people use it because it's like, language develops. So it's not they don't actually mean like smoke. They actually mean that little escape of air or gas that looks a bit like smoke. So if you refer to it as smoke, that's fine. I haven't watched any further than that on that one. But I just looking on Johnny's face, slightly smug, letting Brad do the straight man role there for a little bit, in a way, having that little joke against beer reviewers who use the term smoke on the opening in reference to smoked beers. I thought was hilarious. I don't know if he then goes on to talk about Rauch beer and Schlenkerla and actually pronounce it properly. Unlike, that's just me having a dig. I was going to do that video about pronouncing it Schlenkerla and Raunch beer, but you know who I'm talking about. Sorry. It just amuses me. I mean, Schlenkerla is a difficult word to pronounce, and I've seen a variety of things, but it's definitely Schlenkerla, as far as I'm aware. And Rauch beer is definitely Rauch beer. None of these beers refer to themselves as Rauch beer, despite what I imagine having Bamberg malt. I'm guessing there's other smoked malts, but yeah, you've seen that one. Yeah, I haven't watched all of it, so I don't know what they go on to talk about, but I did see Torside in the lineup alongside, obviously, I just realised they did have a couple of Schlenkerlas in there, so I guess they pronounce Schlenkerla properly. I've heard a variant of called Schlenkerla or Schenkerla, but I think it's Schlenkerla. I did ask my mate who's fluent in German because he's married to a German woman to give me a little audio, and he did. Both Schlenkerla and Rauch beer. So I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. I never got to put that video together using Ansbach and Hobday's smoked brown. But yeah, he's getting better. Though he's getting better. Somebody's advised him, and he did say it right the other day in a video, and then went on to carry on saying it incorrectly. But yeah, it's a difficult word, give him some slack. But if you're told how to pronounce it, so I think he has. But anyway, I haven't then gone and done that video about how to say these words properly. Mainly because I'm struggling. I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah. So I haven't done that mainly because I'm terrible at getting videos out at the moment. Hence doing all these lives. I think this makes a much better live than it would do a video because it would take me far too long, and maybe I'll look at it differently. But yeah, it's been a really nice lineup. I think this one's more than okay. Dave Wilson said it was just okay. But again, probably that was like I say when he had it. As the third in a lineup of smoked beers, it's not the best of the three, but it's different. Each of the three beers tonight have been kind of different, despite the fact that they're all porters or stouts. About 2 stouts and a porter. They're all a really nice take on the style. Like I say, they're not aggressively smoked. I'm not talking a round of fried bacon in any of them. Some slightly grilled ham, maybe. This one's much the lightest, probably, of the three in the smokes. Yeah, it's definitely if you're not sure about smoked beers, this one's kind of a good introduction to it. If you're a stout drinker, it's much more Guinness-like. Simo, how you doing, sir? Greetings, thanks for popping in. How you feel about smoked beers? I've just smashed 3. Not smashed, couldn't finish them. I'm going to go back and finish them all together at my leisure. You can tell by the length of the stream that I've been wanging on that I've really enjoyed these beers because I'm finding a lot to talk about. There's lots of notes in each of them, different ones. I've still got a little bit of sea salt smatting around from the salted pretzel one from Steamtown and Mason. I'm looking forward to trying the other Mason beer. actually, on the basis of that. They do sounds like they do some good stuff. That Hive Mind, again, Meadery transferring over to beer. And this one from Padstow, it's kind of like a smoky Guinness. That nice velvety, kind of slightly chocolatey note. Not a lot of coffee in any of them, to be fair. The smoke kind of takes care of that. Not a fan of smoked beer. I think that might be because, I don't know, the smoked beers generally sort of, like I say, either Schlenkerla, Torside, is a slight exception. They tend to, I don't know, they might be more aggressive on the smoke. The history have been kind of a bit lighter. The smoke has been not incidental, it's been noticeable, but there's been other flavors going on as well. It's not all an out and out side of bacon. Yeah, some can drink in an ashtray or burnt in. Burnt ends is a very good shout. There's that kind of bacony note. Sometimes, yeah, it is a bit ashtray. Like I said, I was just saying just now, it's more kind of a really good waxy cigar rather than a cigarette. Although I did kind of say menthol a little bit, smell the fags on that one. Yeah, we were just talking about that with the Torside connection. I love Torside. Had several of their beers, not enough to be fair, but and I probably could have put a Torside in this lineup when I thought about doing smoky beers. I thought there'd be a bit of smoke, a bit of cordite hanging in the air. There certainly was last month for fireworks, but being firework day, in fact, it's much quieter than it was last week. I guess any of the local last year there was a lot, so much less this year. I might go and have a look, see if there's some distant ones still going on. I was going to do this outside, like I say, but I couldn't get the camera angle right. But yeah, I'm a big fan of smoky beers. Can sometimes be hit and miss, like I say. Can sometimes get a slight ashtray note. I like the ones that are cigar kind of smoke on, like a smoky pub. Making his own smoke. My boss did a beer a few years back where he smoked some hay. He sort of burnt some hay, smoked that, and put that in the thing. So there's a slightly smoky hay infused golden ale that he does. I think last time he didn't smoke it. He just did the hay infused. So there was that kind of slightly smoky note anyway. We didn't do that one this year. That's the kind of end of harvest kind of hay infused golden ale we call Betjeman. He hasn't done it this year. I don't think we will, unless we do it next week maybe. But yeah, I like a smoky bit. And I did ask the question at the beginning, how much smoke is too much smoke in a beer? And none of these three have had too much smoke. They've all been good. I've saved a little, so I'm going to go back and have another look at them. Again, see how they change. They all complement each other really well. They all go really well together because, like I say, the smoke hasn't been massively prevalent. It's just been kind of there in the background with some other really nicely balanced flavors. So I've got a lot to talk about. It's going to be a long write-up on Instagram. If I actually get it out, get it done tomorrow or the next day, but I've still got the free to do from the other day because I never managed today. But yeah, it's been one of my favorite streams for a while, to be fair, because all the beers have just sat really nicely, and you guys have been in, chatted away as well. That's all been good. Simon just had the one this evening. Gold Top. Oh, the track Gold Top double IPA. There wasn't any football on tonight, Simo. All the football was at the weekend. Sipping on an 8.4% dipper. That's takes some willpower. But then I've not had any track Gold Top, and I will get around to it at some point. But yeah, I'm kind of focusing on all the smaller breweries that nobody's heard of, because these things amuse me. I just find it more interesting. I'm sure undeniably the tracks of this world are great, and I've had one beer, but yeah, I like trying random stuff, and you find these little gems. And like I say, all these beers tonight have been really good. Really enjoyed them. I did wonder if 3 was going to be too many and it would be a kind of a bit too much. A few championship games going on. So yeah, that doesn't interest me at all at the moment. Play football. What a silly game. Yeah, so a good start, really good middle. That mad bottle. 7%. I tell you what, it didn't taste like 7%. That was a nice, solidly balanced porter. I say there was a little bit of kind of barrel aging, that kind of honey, kind of slight rum note, only very slight, but very drinkable at 7%. And then back down with a 4.5% stout. I say like a slightly smoky Guinness. Really good, really nice. Yeah. Thanks so much for coming along. I don't know if smoky beers can be a bit divisive. It's all good fun. I like to keep these down to an hour and a half, so not waffling on too much. But yeah, if you're watching after the event, don't forget comment down below. Let me know what you think about smoked beers. I don't get enough comments. And also, whilst you're down there, click like and subscribe. It's about there somewhere, I believe. Well, it depends where you watch. If you're watching on mobile, it's nowhere near. I think it's about there if you're watching on a laptop. But there you go. Yeah, click like and subscribe. It's free if you want. Or not, and don't worry about it. Yeah, so probably I might do one tomorrow. I'm not sure if I get a chance tomorrow to set it up. Probably not. And then we're into the weekend, and then who knows what happens after that. Might do one Sunday, maybe, if I can find some more beers. I've got plenty, like I say, got 12 beers coming today, so I've got to get through them. I don't know whether to do that Hackney Church Gazpacho beer on a live or do a separate video for it, as soon as I got that in today, but or any of the other Hackney Church beers. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have a little think about that. But yeah, in the meantime, as always, thanks for joining. Thanks for coming along. Let us know what you think in the comments, and yeah, cheers and enjoy the beers, whether they're smoked or not. I've had a great set of beers. I've really enjoyed them. It's been superb. So whilst I continue to waffle, whilst I find the outro, thanks everybody for popping in. Cheers to you all. Mr. Wilson, as always, for the reminders for the photographs. I'll put them up on Instagram tomorrow. And we will catch you again soon. And in the meantime, cheers. And as always, enjoy the beers. I've been Disco, Just Disco Beer Review. Catch you soon.